Okay, we're continuing with this book here, The Holy Grail of Wisdom Quotes, and the big person for today is going to be Samuel Taylor Coleridge, but I got a couple minor things to get through before that. We're in the letter C. So the first one is a couple quotes about clothing. Good clothes open all doors. Dress for Success, book by John Malloy. I read that book. I found it very helpful. When I was a young guy, I was a wrestler. All my friends were wrestlers, and I just wore wrestling t-shirts. But as I got older, I started to see you want to dress really nice because people treat you better. Like I went to the grocery store in a t-shirt and they really treated me like I was a homeless lowlife. And then I'm usually, wearing at least a nice shirt, but if I wear a tie or I'm coming, from the hospital, I'll have my medical jacket on, then you get treated a lot better when you're dressed nice. It's just a fact. That's how people judge you. Your clothing, somebody said, your clothing is a uniform that tells people how to treat you. So you might as well dress nice. Here's a quote by Orwell. He says, "How the attitude of a woman varies with a man's clothes. When a badly dressed man passes them by, they shudder away from him with quite frank movement of disgust, as though he were a dead cat." Yeah, women, they don't like poor guys. They don't like guys that look, savage or whatever, homeless, violent, or any of that kind of stuff. They don't like them. Okay, Kurt Cobain quote, "You laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at you because you're all the same." And I kind of think he's a crazy scumbag, but I liked his song, "Where Did You Sleep Last Night?" That was a great song. Okay, In the Pines. It's sort of a takeoff, new words to a country music song, something like In the Pines. Okay, Claude Cockburn, this guy, he had a good quote about, here he goes. He says, "Never believe anything until it has been officially denied." All right, next we got a couple quotes here by Jean Cocteau. He says, "If the crowd has a choice, they will always, on who is to be crucified, the crowd will always say Barabbas." So I hate to say it, but it's true. You can't get around it. There's always going to be a powerful ruler. Then there's going to be the middle class that's doing most of the work. And then at the bottom, there's going to be, the ignorant masses, okay, and the peanut gallery. And the peanut gallery almost always selects something bogus, okay, and that's just a fact. I mean, look at the high-fat phonies dominate vegan nutrition, okay, and I'm sitting here shadow banned, getting 200 views for a great lecture, okay. My best lecture recently was that one about from health hell to heaven, the Rogerian path. That's a great lecture. That's an all-time classic. Samuel Taylor Coleridge. All right, here we go. He lived from 1772 to 1834. Coleridge was an English poet during the Romantic era in the early 1800s. And the albatross was a good omen to sailors. It's kind of also symbolic of Jesus Christ, okay? Melville, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, STC, C.S. Lewis, they incorporated this into their writing. It was thought to bring good luck to sailors, to guide them out of bad weather when they were lost, just like the Christ can guide us out of our own problems, okay? And the albatross in Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poem was like Christ who died for us, all right? Here's some quotes about Coleridge. William Hazlitt said, "Coleridge talked on forever and you wished he would talk on forever." Coleridge defines poetry as the best words in the best order. Coleridge, "I have seen gross intolerance in support of tolerance." Yeah, that's what's happening nowadays. People in the name of tolerance are the biggest, vindictive scumbags. Okay, Coleridge, "The most happy marriage would be a deaf man to a blind woman. People of humor are always in some degree people of genius. Nothing is so contagious as enthusiasm." Okay. So Coleridge is a really smart guy, but he messed himself up with drugs like so many people do. On awakening, he instantly and eagerly wrote down the lines that are here preserved. At this moment, he was unfortunately called out by a person of business from Porlock. So that's the person from Porlock. So what you can say if you're trying to work. There was a famous neuroradiologist who said this to me one time. He said, "I'm busy. You're like the person from Porlock," when I was bugging him. It's Thomas Nadich. He's a real world famous neuroradiologist out of New York University. He's the best guy in the world for neuroanatomy in the context of functional MRI. So he was joking with me, but, he had his point. Okay, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he came out of a stupor and he wrote Kubla Khan, and then knock, knock, knock on the door, and he said it was a person from Porlock. And right when that happened, it took the stream of thought, stream of consciousness, from remembering his dream out of his mind. And the person from Porlock ruined his, Like an insurance salesman ruined his memory of the poem. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Elf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground with walls and tower were girdled round. It's a beautiful poem. Okay, and then I loved The Rime of the Ancient Mare. That was my favorite Samuel Taylor Coleridge poem. And that became an Iron Maiden song, really good Iron Maiden song. Water, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. As idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. A sadder and a wiser man he rose the morrow morn. Alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. And never a saint took pity on my soul in agony. So yeah, the whole poem is just great. As idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. And then he had great lines too about, what did he learn from it? He prayeth well who loveth well, both man and bird and beast. He prayeth well who loveth best, all things both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, he made and loveth all. And that comes, remember that there was that book about the veterinarian in England, All Things Both Great and Small. I think that was the title of it. Okay, so this is Samuel Taylor Coleridge from The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I like his poetry better than Wordsworth, but Wordsworth, comes in strong with Tintern Abbey. Okay, let's see, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The man's desire is for the woman, but the woman's desire is for the desire of the man. Yeah, there's truth in that. Okay, Samuel Taylor Coleridge continues. What comes from the heart goes to the heart. And I think that's a secret of writing. And basically, if you feel it in your heart, this is good, this is funny, or whatever, the audience usually feels something similar. The kind of audience that would like you anyways. And I know, like when I make a video, what do I make a video about? I just make a video if something feels good to me. Like if something catches my attention during the day and I, for some reason, feel compelled to keep thinking about, then that's worth making a video about. And something else might sound good in theory, but if I don't have any feelings for it, I just don't make a video about it because I can't. I want to be enthusiastic for whatever I'm talking about. Okay, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The dwarf sees farther than the giant when he has the giant's shoulders to sit upon. It sounds like Isaac Newton. Men of genius are rarely much annoyed by the company of vulgar people. No mind is thoroughly well organized that is deficient in a sense of humor. Our quaint metaphysical opinions in an hour of anguish are like playthings by the bedside of a child deathly sick. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the great poet, friend of William Wordsworth. So, hope that was interesting.